Prime News on HLN, continuing our conversation about what is next for little Haylee Donovan. 4-year-old missing. Her mom, Candace Watson, and mom's sex offender boyfriend take her on this 2,000-mile journey. Thankfully, she's found alive and well in California. There's a cute little girl in the arms of a police officer. So one of the questions we want to know now, what's best for her? Her grandmother has stepped up, Mary Watson. She gave an exclusive interview to Nancy Grace right here on HLN, and she talked about having custody of little Haylee in the past. Let's listen to that.
I took her for temporary custody while my daughter was going to school and working 2 jobs at the same time in Phoenix, Arizona. And I took her home with me and took care of her.
Okay, so she's had custody in the past. We have our experts, Tara Fields, licensed marriage and family therapist. Tara, how do we make sure that Haylee being with her grandmother is the best thing right now?
Well, I think at this point that probably is the best place for her to be. But having said that, it's so important to have someone from Child Protective Services as well as another mental health professional not only make visits to the home to observe the interaction between them, but also she needs to have a separate therapy environment where she can do play therapy. The grandmother isn't going to be observed, so that they can continue to evaluate whether this really is the best situation, and also to help heal her from the trauma and help deal with the issues of being separated from her mother. Putting her in a foster care system at this point could just add to the trauma.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. And again, we're not trying to beat up on Mary Watson, the grandmother. She has stepped up. We're just talking about, as our caller pointed out, some very obvious facts about some trouble with her children. Let's bring in Don Clark, former FBI special agent in charge. Don's been following this case. Don is an investigator. What is your job here? How much dealings would you as an investigator have with little Haylee, and what are you going to find out about what happened not only in San Diego, but what's going on back at home?
Well, I think that the investigators, they have to talk to little Haylee and kind of find out what's going on, and they will be well advised, and they'll know what information to ask her and to seek from her and how to treat her. The big thing is, too, Mike, is that what they've really got to do from the investigative perspective is that they've got to get hand in glove with Child Protective Service and really try to figure out what has happened in the past with all of these people that this little girl is involved in, and what Child Protective Service project may happen in the future. And while the grandmother looks like that she certainly has stepped up, I think it's a little bit early to let this kid go outside of the authorities at this point. Put her in a nice place for right now and try to sort through this thing.
Yeah, okay. Guys, thanks so much. Don, Tara, Randy, we appreciate it. Coming up on the show, we're going to give you the latest on Governor Mark Sanford, those emails.
I wish they would talk about what Mrs. Watson had said a couple weeks ago, that her daughter was on methamphetamines, and that was one of the reasons why she had temporary custody. They're not talking about that. That is so important.